mean, bump it up.
I
That
know
makes
that
it
bumping
worse.
up. I know. You would figure it would make it worse, but I feel like there was a time when I bumped it up and actually made it better. But I don't know. Drop frames. No
Radiant team,
Netflix. No
pick.
bandwidth. Share.
Radiant team.
And you
ban.
always try switching from the whatever server you're connected. Or, obviously, I
5
hope you're not
seconds
watching your own stream. Pause it.
Reserve time.
All right, let's get into this. Hello and welcome everyone back to
Dire
a
team
night
ban.
plagued with technical difficulties both on Valve server side and sort of the stream as well. But hopefully we can have a good game here with less pauses. The best of three between Union Gaming and Avantis Angles continues. I'm Helium and I'm joined by Coddle Guy.
10
How's
seconds.
it going?
remaining.
Welcome back. We're into game 2 now. Union Gaming up 1.
5 seconds remaining.
Very assertive game for them. You said they're aggressive players. I believe it now. Late on or
Reserve
hurting
time.
with their heavy push strat, and they already grabbed out the Venomancer early, which worked nicely for them last game. So if you got a good thing going, why don't you keep it going even longer, Rick? Grab Venomancer.
Yeah, it worked out for him.
Radiant
Strong
team
push.
ban.
I mean, with those plague words, it's basically another creep, and you can lay down about 6 of them concurrently. Also able to defend nicely with them. They pick up the Venom, the Timber Saw, but some really strong support picks come out here. The Alchemist and the Crystal Maiden. They're going to be roaming up a
10
storm,
seconds
but
remaining.
that isn't to say that Alchemist can't mid, support, or carry, so we'll see where they want to
5
put
seconds
him.
remaining.
A lot of bans to go over. You can start tackling those.
Yeah, well, before I step
time.
into bans, I agree. I mean, Alchemist is such a great first pickup. I mean, he's so versatile that it gives nothing away. I mean, Union Gaming won't be able to read into that because you can put Alchemist anywhere now. He's such a strong support, and then you can always go fall back onto his strong late game or mid game or whatever you want. But as far as bans go, Avantis, they get rid of the Death Prophet
Dire team
this
ban.
time around. I guess they don't even want to deal with any sort of push potential, and they even get rid of Pugna now. They get rid of Rost. I mean, all of their bans are like, we don't want you to even think about pushing anymore, all right, Union Gaming? Don't even think about it. We have a hard time, clearly, against teams being a little too over-aggressive. And you know what? I actually, when you asked if I would do this game, and I knew I'd watched Avantis Angels at the time, playing MLG in the fall, and I remember them talking about how one of their weaknesses was teams playing very aggressively. So we saw it there. I wonder if Union are going to keep that kind of strat rolling.
Yeah, and they kind of had an awkward lineup with that Luna going off on her own in the off lane, which worked out
10
fine. She got a
seconds
ton
remaining.
of farm. Even the mid did all right, getting some kills, and they were hitting
5
kills
seconds
early. But when it
remaining.
came to the team fights, they were using Eclipse, not in sync with the Exorcism. They could just never
Reserve
sync
time.
up, and it was kind of awkward to watch. And Avanti's Angles, they took some bad team fights where Union Gaming was already in position to push. They had just taken 2 towers top. They rotate mid, win a team fight, and then they took the racks, and it was over. At 19 minutes only, so, I mean, don't mess up versus a strong push lineup, that's for sure. As Pugna
Yeah, I think
being banned
Avantis
out.
Angles. Sorry about that. Don't mean to step on your toes. I was just going to go on that note and say I think also they put a lot of hope into that Mirana Bane, and when it didn't work out for him, even right off the start of the game, remember they had that very unsuccessful initiate gank. From there on, I think they were just on tilt, and they couldn't really get that Mirana Bane combo going for them, and that pretty much shut that whole thing down. And I don't like Mirana's support, and once you don't have an early game, she's pretty much nowhere to be found to help you out. So
10 seconds
it just wasn't looking
remaining.
good. So now they got a whole new setup going for them. They got the Timber Saw and the
5
Rubik on their
seconds
side.
remaining.
Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the other team. The Timber Saw and the Rubik picked up once again for Union, and I can't remember who
Reserve
it
time.
was on the Rubik. Was it Benjaz? But they were phenomenal.
Yes,
That
no,
was a great
Benjaz
Rubik.
was the Juggernaut, and Zero was it was Gosu Ray King on the Rubik. He played a better Mirana than the Mirana. He had stolen arrow quite a few times, hit a couple of arrows, potentially used more Fiend's Grip than the Bane as well, or at least an even amount, so Gosu was all over those spell steals. He did have the solo bot lane experience, though. He was level 6 at a pretty good time with a Force Staff and Mana Boots fairly early, especially with all the tower gold. It really helps your supports out.
Yeah, I hope Avantis Angels now consider that. They must have seen how well Rubik played, and they can't afford to pick anything up to allow Rubik to really shine. They don't want to give away any sort of easy ultimates or, something that Rubik can really take advantage of. But they have a lot to work with. They got their early support out of the way. Alchemist and Crystalmania, if you use them as supports, they can roam. They can really take advantage of the mid lane. They grab the Clinks, who doesn't give too much because he's pretty elusive. And if you do manage to get him, you can get that skeleton walk. But other than that, it's nothing really Rubik is going to take advantage of. So good pickup already. They got a good late game that doesn't offer Rubik a whole lot to work with.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. I mean, besides the invis, that's kind of like a free good spell steal, but right now there's not a whole lot to steal. I mean, Crystal Nova is always going to be good. Frostbite Concoction is pretty deadly.
Remaining.
Yeah, Concoction can be pretty deadly, but Rubik, as long as if Alchemist is aggressive, hopefully he's not handing it over. He should be giving Rubik a Concoction in the form of throwing it at him and stunning him and taking him out. So yeah, I mean, you're right with that. It does offer a free stun. If you stack that together with his telekinesis, that's some severe lockdown, but we'll see how they decide to lane it up. They might take Alchemist away and out of the battle away from Rubik earlier.
Well, I'm expecting a defensive tri-lane with what we're seeing right there. Clinks isn't really a great off laner unless it's in a 1v1 matchup. So you got these great roaming supports. Why fix them to an aggressive tri-lane? Not to say they couldn't aggressive with the Clinks either. The Searing Arrows do a lot, and it's going to force out some sentries. I don't know. It would be a weird aggressive tri-lane. I think they'll be fine to do defensive. You can leave Clinks. He's not that easy to gank. He's very, very fast, especially if he gets boots up with that skeleton walk. I don't know why it's called skeleton
Radiant
walk
team, pick.
when he literally is sprinting.
Yeah, definitely should be skeleton sprint. I agree 100% there, Helium.
And then
100%.
He can also push down the tower pretty quickly in that safe lane scenario if the enemy lane abandons or is roaming or rotating around that offlaner, which will likely just be Timbersaw, who's very killable here with the Searing Arrows damage, the Frostbite, and the Concoction. Shouldn't be able to get the Timber Chain off.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Clinks is also a prime candidate on getting that Orchid
Dire
too.
team
So, and that's like one of Timbersaw's nightmares is being silenced up. So, you can definitely put up that Clinks was grabbed to be a counter pickup against the Timbersaw. So yeah, I like the pickup. I like the pickup a lot. But now they move on. They grab the Clockwork, which we talked a little bit about before, and great off lane. So I would hope to see that they're going to roll Clockwork in that top lane and use the cogs to his advantage. And now you have the ability to really jump in with that hook shot. And Lifestealer does not like Clockwork at all. Clockwork jumps in, isolates him from the rest of the team, and because he's melee, if you put up a good set of walls, he can't get in the fight either to make something happen. So good pickup as well. I think Avantis Angels, their draft is much better already this time around, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. They've got a pretty terrifying team right now. Clockwork, well, Lifestealer and Clockwork get along a little bit better than before. I mean, Rage no longer gets pushed by the cog, so that's a big win for Lifestealer. That was also at a time when Lifestealer was a little bit more overpowered, so I guess that was okay. But Clockwork, pick up a Blade Mail or a Force Staff. Likely the Force Staff is the first item versus that Lifestealer. Just to cog him up, force out, and then Lifestealer is pretty much isolated for a good 3 or 4 seconds until the cogs run out, or he attacks himself out. And then we've got Puck picked up 5th there. The TA ban from Union Gaming, and the Puck with that teamfight control picked up for their mid.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they knew that their options, after grabbing the Lifestealer, they definitely wanted to grab either that Storm Spirit or the Puck. Avantis, they ban out the Storm Spirit, don't allow him to get that. Instead, they'll have to settle for the Puck, and Puck obviously would have a very difficult time going against TA. They don't even want to, I don't know, I can't remember if Avantis is a proficient TA playing team, but they didn't want to risk it. They get rid of her right off the bat. So it's a good pickup, and obviously Puck works so well with the Lifestealer, great vehicle, if you will, for her to orb in with the Infest and make something happen. And to contest the Puck, they finish it off by grabbing a Queen of Pain.
That classic matchup you don't see too much of anymore, that Queen of Pain versus Puck going into the mid lane.
Very elusive. I'm liking it. Both. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch each other out. It's going to take a lot of work, and they're both so good at taking control of the runes. It's going to come down to the support and how they can maybe help out their mid laner, get control of the runes, and control the game early.
Or whichever player here, Jenkins and or Citadel, who might know that matchup better, because it is a pretty skill-dependent matchup, and knowing it helps. I mean, even Puck even has the slight advantage in that matchup, I believe, is the general consensus. But let's.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Obviously, with the Orban and the silence to follow, you can definitely lock down a Queen of Pain. It's going to force her to play a little more defensively and just try to get, as many last hits as possible. But go ahead, let's go to these introductions before they get too aggressive.
Yeah, we'll go for the Dire here. Union Gaming, Benjaz leading the charge down here in the aggressive tri-lane. Actually, no, they're just scouting out for that intel. Benjaz on the Lifestealer will be supported up by Zero once again on the Venomancer, and Gosu once again on the Rubik. That should leave Angel here on the Timbersaw for the offlane, and we've already talked about it a little bit, but we've got Citadel here on the Puck heading over towards the mid.
All right, and on your Radiant side, we've got Avantis Angles, formerly Avantis Angels. They're going to be starting off with Sakar is your blue. He's a Clockwork heading that off lane. No real surprises there. Jenkins in the mid, representing that Queen of Pain, will be going against most likely that Puck. Meanwhile, your bottom squad is going to be Avanti themselves on the Crystal Maiden by your side. Shredder playing the late game Clinks, and then finally Dolphin on your what appears to be support heavy Alchemist.
Good old support Alchemist. Best role for Alchemist, especially with the change to Chemical Rage. You get a good level 6 and you are straight unkillable.
Absolutely, and Dolphin already has a smoke in hand. They're gonna maybe push it to level 2 for Crystal Maiden, then expect them to pop that smoke and go towards that mid lane.
But the Invis rune here for Angel is going to help out. He's going to be able to get some levels, and it's also going to deny the kill, but nice. They drop the sentry through the tree line. Angel has no idea. He's right on the edge of it, though. If he wanders back forward, they're going to go for it, and Angel just backs up. Alchemist going to stun himself. Unfortunate. I don't know. Those spider senses were tingling there for Angel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, good on him. He knows he has to play defensive. He's obviously scouted the other two lanes, knows what he's going to be going up against. It's going to be a pretty hard time, and if he happened to gander at all at them having sentries, I mean, already they're going to play aggressive really early. This Timbersaw has got to play it safe, and he's already pretty far up. And then when, in retrospect, you have Sakar in the top lane for AA, and he's also got to play it safe, so it's relatively even laning matchup so far.
Yeah, and Rubik, a very good hero to have when going up against that off-lane Clockwork, because even when he does cogs, if Rubik is careful to just lift and then put the Clockwork over the edge of his own cogs, it's very easy to catch out the Clockwork. Cogs don't matter too much. You just make sure not to bump into him as Rubik, or it's going to be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, plus the extra range helps when you have Zero on your Venomancer. In case he does cog someone out, you can just lay on the hurtin' from afar with the help of the Gale. If he decides to get the wards, I mean, Clockwork is not going to be able to fight into anything, but we are going to see something here in the bottom lane as they pop the stun. Dolphin, 2 seconds, won't catch him, and will force to stun himself. Angel obviously doesn't want to get over aggressive and take advantage of this, but now he might be caught out here. He's pushed over in the corner. There's Avanti to step in, throws out the nice Frostbite. Angel, good, across the river, but Dolphin right on it. Moves up, but they won't have enough. And meanwhile, Helium, unfortunately, I did miss your first blood. Top lane, also just as aggressive. They take out Sakar, the Clockwork.
I wasn't there either. I was very curious what was going to go down. I thought maybe another concoction was going to be coming out from that Alchemist, but I would assume what I was talking about earlier just went down there. Rubik likely lifting the Clockwork over his own cogs, and it's Scar giving up the first blood. Meanwhile, we've got Angel here on the Timbersaw, 3.5, escaping that pretty nicely down there. He saw the one Frostbite already used. You can also cast while in Frostbite, so able to take the Timber Chain across. And looking at the mid lane matchup, we've got a Queen of Pain 10 and 2, the Puck 11 and 4, so that mid lane right now very even between the two of them. Some bottle crowing being done here by Citadel.
Yeah, nice mirror match we're going to have here early. Obviously, now that I look at it, Timbersaw has the advantage of the Timber Chain early to get away from any sort of predicament, while Clockwork kind of has to throw up the walls and hope they don't do anything too crazy to him. But like we were talking about, with the help of the lift, with the help of the Gale, he's going to have a much harder time. But it's going to be hard to watch both these lanes. They both look like they want to play pretty aggressive. And Sakar already flirting with danger. He's trying to stop him from pulling. And they're going to go on him. Telekinesis, fall by the Gale. Rage goes out by Benjaz, but he can't get in there. That's the one weakness, and Sakar might try to man up, but he's not going to be able to get away. Open wounds to follow, and they hand over the kill to Benjaz. Happy to take it, and now ahead in CS, and a nice solid, what is it, 1 kill? Oh, yeah, he didn't get the last one, but 1 kill under his belt. I mean, they have 2 kills, but he
Oh
only
yeah,
picked
overall.
up 1 person.
I was like, I hope you didn't
yeah.
see the 2 next to their whole team name.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, bottom lane
He's sitting
though
pretty.
takes the timber chain that of course will not disjoint the unstable concoction. There's another timber chain online. Avanti is smoked up himself once again, going back to the similar position. And Angel should have just went straight across the river because he's gonna get frostbitten and he might be able to kill Avanti, but he doesn't. And at least the Crystal Maiden will go down, and Dolphin is gonna actually suicide here. So in a sense, it is sort of a 2 for 1.
Dire's middle
A
tower.
little
is
awkward
under
there.
Oh, yeah, that was unfortunate.
I feel like Angel could have lived. Had he,
Maiden
right
had-
when he was here, he could have just went to that far back
Dire's
tree
middle
and he
tower
should have
is
been able
under an
to make
extraordinary
it. I
amount
don't know.
of stress.
I guess he felt pretty confident, but good timing there. Crystal Maiden not going to fall for the same thing. Times out the Frostbite very nicely to shut him down, but and the consequence is they pay over both their lives. Bad timing there for the Alchemist. He ends up stunning and killing himself. So they hand over 2 kills, but they do give a little space for Clinks now to get those last hits in. So I don't know how it works out too well. Angel did not get the XP from that second kill. So we'll see how it works in their
Dolphin
favor.
on the Alchemist might have bought out before that. So actually for him it was not really that bad. He just dies, goes back to base. And with that, they've got another smoke this time with their eyes on mid. But with these spells, it's going to be hard to kill Puck. Concoction, you can't you can disjoint it, because if you're in phase and it hits you, nothing's going to happen. But there they go. Quap trying to bait out the phase. 4 seconds on it. They need to go right now because phase is back up, and he takes it. And that's exactly what we expected to happen. He phases it immediately. Had they went about 1 second earlier, they maybe could have got him there.
Yeah, like you said, it's going to be hard for them to catch anything out there on a Puck. Puck's going to be very careful, very cautious, especially when she sees that bottom lane's not there anymore. You know, she's going to play very defensively, and it's not like you're going to easily land the Frostbite or the stun on her. So now, unfortunately, they waste that time trying to get a gank on mid. They try to make up for it by farming a little bit through the jungle as they migrate back to that bottom lane, but it does not work out too nicely.
A lane in which Shredder has had the Midas recipe in his stash for almost a minute, and finally just bringing it out to him on the courier. I don't know why he was waiting so long for it. Normally you go for the recipe first, ferry it out, and then when you get the money for the Gloves of Haste, you just wander over to the side shop and buy it up. But doing things a little backwards delays the Midas maybe by 30-40 seconds, but he's going to have that still at a pretty good timing. And level 6 here on the Timbersaw, so it's going to get a little harder to stand against that with the Chakram. That burst damage just gets really, really bumped up.
The Midas is going to work out pretty nicely, you know, all that air guaranteed incoming, while Benjaz on the other side, he's going to go for the early set of drums, more survivability for him. He's not going to go for that early Midas. He did get a good amount of farm early, but he's going to try to invest it a little more in a safe manner. But as you see, Rubik picks up a smoke of his own, so expect them to potentially make maneuvers now into their own gank, possibly in that mid lane. I would like to see that.
Yeah, they've
been doing a pretty good job shutting down Sakar as well. I mean, he now has finally reached level 4, so he's got to wait it out before he can get that hook shot and make something happen on his own.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, Clockwork, of course, he's already died twice, so the offlane not going well for him, but the supports are the same level as that offlaner right now, so that's the good place to find yourself in. Here for Union Gaming. Gosu Raid level 4, almost level 5. Should have level 5 in lane. He's already got mana boots, looks to be buying a TP. Now Timbersaw in the bottom lane in the jungle looking to invade, take out some last hits here, but maybe overextending. Dolphin here with the acid spray drop first and the concoction doing a lot of damage. Angel with the wand throws out the chakra, misses the timber chain, however, that would have been the kill on Avanti, and the rocket comes in, not quite enough, maybe even slightly off the... No, Avanti and him are on the same team, it turns out. Mid lane though. Oh, Sonic Wave goes out. The phase shift. Now Jenkins in trouble. Silence at the tower. He's gonna go down, and it's Puck picking up the kill. Citadel, nicely done.
Well, a bit of an overstaction by both teams. They technically trade a kill apart, but a bit of a misplay there. Man, that Puck is just too elusive and manages to dodge around. That's exactly why Puck matches up much nicer in that mid lane against the Quap now. Gonna make her way to that haste rune and bottle herself right back up and continue to farm it.
Yeah, that's gonna help out. Actually, might even just use the... Just gonna walk it back to base. Then probably TP top with that haste potentially as they look to kill Clockwork. Benjas trying to take out the creep wave. Will use his in fast, and the TPs are coming in. Who's it going to be? The Queen of Pain first, going straight on that Venomancer, trying to bring him down, but Jenkins taking a lot of damage and suiciding, basically. Concoction will take out the Venom. Scar going to get one, so it's 2 for 1, but Queen of Pain could maybe have done a little bit better. Benjaz, meanwhile, trying to go for the Alchemist, who is level 6, so the regen is online. And they might even be able to deny this top tower. No, 146. So not quite at 10% HP.
Close but no, but another free feed away for Queen of Pain, and now she's crippled that much more. But at bottom lane, oh, careful, the dust is popped. They're making a move here. Trying to get Shredder running around circles, but inevitably will be taken down. Angel helps out with the heavy bit of damage, and it will be Puck, which, remind me again what his name is.
Citadel.
I don't want to keep saying. Citadel picking up the kill, and now they're going to go for the tier 1. Very nice pick off for them.
Yeah, not quite as much push in this game. I mean, some creep clearing abilities, that's for sure, but not a lot of damage to the tower besides the Plague Wards. Up top, they've done a lot to the damage, or to the tower in the top lane, that is Union Gaming. With that Venomancer, 3 points in Plague Wards, they now hit for 29, so they're basically a creep at this point. As Venomancer...
Oh, but we have aggression here on the bottom.
In some trouble. Gonna find another concoction to the face. Gets the Gale off, but basically... he disappears, and Dolphin right now doing a lot of running around here on this Alchemist. Wouldn't mind seeing him pick up a Magic Stick for his troubles. Although Chemical Rage is sort of a free trip back to the fountain. Not so much for your mana, which is where the Magic Stick really helps out.
Yeah, we'll see if he decides to go, continue that in the support road, get up that. Maybe, a Force Staff doesn't hurt to have. The more the merrier. Able to help out yourself and your teammate, and he benefits from a little extra intel gain, or if he wants to get a little corny and go with the Shadow Blade and do more of a surprise build up, that's always a valuable option. I mean, you need someone to kind of bring up extra damage as well as the Clinks, so unless you put everything into that single core, we'll see what they decide to do. He does have the Oblivion Staff #1 ready to go, and he's just going to continue down this road, try to get that Orchid as fast as possible, then be a big dominating presence in this game. If he even gets the time to do so.
Yeah, well, of course, the Change Searing Arrow's now going through Rage, and with that Orchid even, Shredder is going to be able to focus down either the Timber Saw or the Life Stealer. I like the idea of the Shadow Blade here for Dolphin, but I don't think they're having a snowbally enough support game to really warrant going for the Shadow Blade. But it is a great item to catch out some of those BKB wielding heroes. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jenkins taking his 3rd death. 4 heroes show up. Jenkins goes down. 0, 4, and 2 right there on the Queen of Pain.
Very rough. Gosu once again stepping it up. He had that blink ready to go. Found the opportunity, blinked right in, grabbed her, and they just took her right apart. And now she's down. Another kill. They're thinking about maybe pushing ahead here, making a move. Runs into Avanti, throws out the Frostbite to slow down, but with an urn and a help of a Timber Chain, they get her taken down right away. That's a 3rd kill right there, and this is not looking too good for Avanti and her squad, or his squad. My
Strange to say,
possibly her, but I would assume not.
Yeah. I was always under the impression that it was a female, but that's really disrespectful. It's actually some guy and he tunes in. So Avanti and the angles going for the tier. Oh no, the guy tried to defend this, but Jenkins. Yeah, this might be a pretty quick game, even quicker than last game, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, some more aggression there in the mid lane, hard to deal with, as my Dota has just taken a steep frame rate drop here. I'm not sure what is going on. I might go ahead and reconnect in the bottom lane, though. I mean, the stream's already laggy enough, so does it really even matter? Shredder, though, in trouble. Here comes Puck, not holding, no, still holding Dust, gets the Dream Coil off, and Shredder is going to go down. Another nice kill there. Rubik with, was it Timber Chain and then a blink, or was that just Timbersaw himself? I don't know. I'm going to reconnect real fast.
No worries for those people in Dota TV. I'll keep it going, and as you can tell, Union Gaming, they're not even giving Avanti a sliver of hope. They're immediately addressing the Clinks as well. I mean, if they even had a hope that Clinks could be the dark horse of their team and get back in it with the Orchid and lay out some heavy damage, now that's the 2nd time they managed to gank him off. Meanwhile, Alchemist manages to catch out the Rubik up above the lane away from his allies. Now he has to take the long road to try to make it to the TP house here. He's got to be able to get out.
Is under attack.
What is he doing? Why is
Rise
he
it
not
up.
TPing?
He's got 14 seconds. He's got to play defensive here. He pulls out the stun. Oh no. Trying to make a move. Long ball catches. It's a lot of damage, but Angel trying to stop him out. No, don't kill my friend. He's going to try to hit him down the urn. Oh no. Dolphin going to be kited around now, making the road down.
No
Hunts
mana
him
for
out.
Angel, though.
Oh. I know this is looking not too good, but with the help of the creeps, there's the TP. He's going to be able to get away. Wow. Nice evasive maneuvers. And actually, it's funny because now I have a frame rate drop, so why don't you take it over while I reconnect to the game?
Yeah, like, my computer doesn't drop frames when I play Dota. Tonight is a night, and I know the stream is laggy.
It's a
for
please
everybody.
Volvo night.
Yeah.
It's Volvo. All right, come on, guys. Scheduled maintenance is plaguing out into all the other servers as well. That's pretty much what's happening here. We'll just chalk it up to that.
Yeah, well, we can do that. I was so confused because I reconnected and the TV scroll didn't have a cooldown for Alchemist. I'm like, why is he just standing in the trees doing nothing?
Oh, yeah.
And some more aggression
at that time, he had about
the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Dolphin going to be taken down immediately. And then a Dream Coil onto Avantis should be going down. Yes, Benjaz going to just take him out. Blinking forward, very, very aggressively going to get hooked in the face, but does have, of course, that phase shift. Can buy some time. Let's see if they can't go on to Scar. Looks like they should be able to get a Timber Chain, get a miss, but they don't need it anyway. 18-6. As Shank's picking up an item there. And yeah, maybe if the stream is laggy, you can also just pick up that in-game ticket here for CEVO Season 3, the playoffs. All double elimination bracket, best of 3, and still quite a few games to be had. It's only $1.99, so it's still, you know, a bang for your buck even at this point.
Absolutely a reasonable pickup, and no reason why anyone out there should not have the ticket. A lot of great quality Dota, and the chance to win some delicious drops. You know, why not, right? Pick it up. Plus, you don't have to worry about
$1.99 in Dota.
there.
You can basically make your money back if you get 2 drops, which is quite nice. It's like a system. It's like it never runs out. Completely sustainable.
Absolutely, I believe it. And look at this. Union Gaming are not letting up. Smoke as well in the bottom. They want to look to make something happen. They don't even need to fall back. Oh, no, here they go. Infest. I was just going to say they're not even going to go for the Infest setup here, but they get it. Now they're looking to move. They're going to catch out. This is going to be a free Avanti. Oh, God. Oh, God. Ripped right apart. Lifestealer with another kill, and they have to raise the white flag very soon.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they are facing... No, they're not facing elimination here. This is actually the upper bracket, the round of 4. So, Union Gaming, if they win this, they're going to be heading into... Let's check it out. They're going to be going into the winner bracket finals to face either top 5 or Faded farming all day, every day. So, they're going to have... not the easiest road for them here. Top 5, maybe the team to watch out for, as we see that Alchemist going down. As Faded here, you know, they are definitely a quality team, but they relied a little bit there on Corey. Of course, they're very, very strong carry, but now he's in Korea playing for Zephyr, so we'll see who wins that Faded top 5 matchup. That should just be starting.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually going to be very intrigued to watch that. I'm excited about it, but man, it's a shame because I was really confident in Avantis' draft. I thought they really had the ticket for this one, but wow, Union Gaming, they just play really well. They have a lot of good chemistry to roll as a team, and you know, play defensively for each other. And they had a good lane setup going for them. I think the Timber Saw was very evasive in the bottom lane, not easily getting picked off. He did get caught off once, but fortunately, Avanti's been falling all over the place.
Yeah, it was just awkward. The Crystal Maiden and the Alchemist, I mean, both of those stuns, well, the Frostbite is definitely good, and it's basically an instant stun, but you can cast out of it. So, I mean, as long as the Timber Chain is cast after Frostbite, he's okay, and then the Unstable Concoction from Dolphin has a bit of a traveling time, which is, you know, you can still Timber Chain and then get hit by it later. So, it wasn't the easiest kill, and they got him once, and it cost 2 supports for 1 kill. That's really not worth it, as Scar also had a rough time in the offlane. And speaking of that, it looks like he's in a lot of trouble right now. He's got the hook, gonna throw it, but he throws it and has to walk right back through the chakra. An Angel out of mana, but that's alright. He's already dead. Now Dolphin trying to reinitiate stuns them both up right on the acid spray, and there's a freezing field gonna get it. But Citadel.
Yeah, there we go. Vanti, breath of fresh air, but oh man, taken right apart. That was close. It was really good. Rubik scouts him out again with the skeleton walk, and double kill. Dolphin, here we go. Is this what Avanti needs? Nice work, kid. They get her. That's a big bounty right there. 1085 for the Clinks. Are we going to see a little bit of a comeback here? That's possible.
That seems like it. Handing over 1,085 gold to the carry in the form of the Clinks. Just finished up the Orchid, and now he can either finish up those boots or just go straight into a Crystallis or a BKB if he needs one. As checking out some of the item progression, the S and Y coming out for Benjaz, maybe not wanting to be kited, but I'm not sure who would actually be doing that. Maybe just the Shadow Strike slow by Queen of Pain, but I think a Basher would have been maybe a little bit better. Well, he is pretty far ahead, and it's still only 18 minutes, so that S and Y is going to be really powerful. Alchemist disappears.
Yeah, he just pretty much ran right through the Alchemist in the mid lanes. S and Y is a little off, I would say, just a tiny bit off the beaten path for a Lifestealer, but I think they feel pretty confident how the game's going. They're just going to extra attack speed, a little extra survivability. They're pulling back right now. This is a good time to get Roche. They pushed out the mid lane, got the pick off, so let's go ahead and get the Roche underway. And healing, if you don't mind, I like to play my Roshan song here. Ready? They're going on it pretty hard here. They're going to get it relatively easy. Avanti nowhere to be found to stop them. And I guess they're going to just try to hand it off to Benjaz, and now they can try to go for the final blow.
Nice. The iPad really coming in handy.
Yeah, just a little bit of flavor. It's like the sprinkles on our vanilla ice cream we got going here.
Which melted during the pause.
Extinct.
And the server troubles in game one.
It's like the kid with the ice cream cone, it just falls on the floor, and you're just like, oh.
At least I have sprinkles.
Yeah.
But touching back on that S and Y as a strange pickup, you said a little bit off the beaten path, but I really do like it when you're playing up either against a Viper or a Venomancer, people with maybe not stuns but a lot of slow, just to get up your base movement and still be able to catch them down even when they apply a slow. So I like it in that sense, but that's not really the case here. I think a Basher would have been okay, but again, it's an early game item. At 20 minutes, it's strong.
Yeah, and plus, if you're going to be the target for the Clockwork, they haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, because at this point it'd be a suicide mission for them to make the jump on Benjaz. But if that was the case, then he'd be able to have the Basher, and he could probably duke it out with the Clockwork in the Cog Wall and take him out before it gets too bad. But now they're pushing up the hill. They're feeling pretty confident they're going to go right for the Tier 2. And can they set something up with CEVO-Main, the freezing field, and everything? They make a jump in. Nice hook shot on Angel. They silenced up. With the help of the Orchid, nice! They take him down right away, but they manage to take out the Clinks, who is pretty much the heart and soul of Avanti's team, and now Benjaz feeling very confident. Just goes right back on the Tier 3, and they should be able to get this.
Yeah, Clink set up there after the Clockwork initiation to just go on the Timbersaw, and then Benjaz just said hello and mutilated that Clinks Eastwood. They need to bring that name back, by the way. Meanwhile, Jenkins, without the Sonic Wave, watches his Tier 3 fall before his eyes, and he can't really do anything about it. And now the Rack's here at just 21 minutes, and quite a bit of trouble.
Yep, and there we go. They set up, they try to set up another Infest, they pop it right out, but Benjaz still has the Aegis ready to go, so they're feeling pretty confident here. They have their full squadron. He's a little low here. Dolphin unable to step in with the stun, hits himself on the noggin, and, well, they managed to save one set of Racks as Union Gaming step out and make a run for it. They pop the dust to see if Shredder was nearby, but he was not. He just came back to life. He has a BKB, but still only 1k life, so if he gets on the wrong end of a Timbersaw, he will get shut down immediately.
I mean, he had the BKB for the last fight, and still, even without the Basher that Lifestealer did just pick up, he literally got 4-shot. I mean, he has a lot of HP when he uses Dark Pact, and Lifestealer is going to feast on that. That's for sure. That is what his ability does, and it is called Feast. Sure, Timbersaw went down, but they lost their axe in the process. We've got a Blink, a Yule Scepter here on the Puck, a Blink even, and a Force Staff on the Rubik. So he's playing the Rubik the way it's meant to be played right now, as this game has lasted a little bit longer. And of course, the Skull Basher on the Lifestealer.
And Avanti's angles have to play it very defensively. Even Queen of Pain is picking up a BKB of her own. Nothing too much for her to offer as far as aggression. Just those steam boots really to add a little bit of damage. But pretty much after she steps in and casts a couple of her spells, she's not going to have too much else to offer. Just has to try to play very elusive top lane. They make a move on Angel. There goes the Orchid. They're trying to lay out the heavy damage, but Angel soaking it up and now making a run to the south. Benjaz shows up to help him out, now makes a move. Shredder forced to pop out the BKB, run to the north, use the Skeleton Walk, and will get away. And, oh no, Dolphin trying to make something happen for himself. Gets caught out, immediately ripped right apart on the run. And they want more. Here we go. Puck stepping right in. They lift up Sakar, throw him right back down. They pick off 2. 2 for nil here as they begin to take down what I would assume be your tier 2 tower. And Avantis might have to sit on the outskirts and just watch this happen.
Yeah, once again, losing all their structures, losing team fights. Very awkward sort of team fight skirmishes where, you know, you don't want to lose them right in front of your tier 2 tower and then your tier 3 tower. And with the creep wave for the enemy team, Shredder gets taken down immediately, and that's the GG. Shredder just going to call it off of that.
Wow, well, great games by Union Gaming. They took it to them real hard, both games, and they did not let up one bit, and maybe that's something that Avantis are just, that's the Achilles heel for them. They said it during the MLG, you know, they don't like a lot of pressure, and I don't know, maybe they have to think about drafting around that in case they run into Union Gaming again.
Yes, sorry, I looked at the chat and got stumped by a riddle that I don't know, I think we're being flamed, probably because the stream is lagging, and that is my fault. Cotton Guy has nothing to do with the laggy stream, so only praises for him. You can follow him on Twitter at CoddleGuy, and of course I am Helium. I'll see what I can do with the internet issues. They are pretty random, and I'm just going to blame Valve for that. Their East Coast server maintenance is probably disrupting the Twitch servers as well. I don't know, but if you want, you can follow me on Twitter at HeliumBrella, and of course, make sure to check out CEVO.com as the CEVO Season 3 playoffs continue, and stay tuned for that announcement on the Season 4 signups. They should be opening here pretty soon. Prize pool's going to go up for both main and open, so do make sure to get involved. Any final words?
No, just thank you so much for having me on here. I definitely love to get the co-cast practice, so I was more than welcoming to the idea of joining you. It's been a lot of fun, actually, and for any of those people who were not happy with the stream quality, stuff like that, you know, it's something that obviously will be fixed and worked on. But if you want to just get a better view experience, buy that ticket, $199. Get that CEVO ticket, baby, and then you can just jump right into Dota TV with the rest of us and watch the game on your own. So there's that. But thanks again.
Couldn't have said it better. All right, peace out, everyone. We'll throw out to maybe some music and check out Play CEVO 1, as that game should be starting. Top 5 versus Faded, and then of course there's Play CEVO. That's Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Complexity versus iBuy Power. Peace.